Hello, and welcome to Not a Pavlova. We'll have a cold lap at the end of the video. Here I'm starting with one egg white I already had from a previous bake, but I do need 3 more egg whites. So I'm separating the eggs, trying to separate the eggs is what I should say. And I'm trying to do it very carefully to not get any yolk in, and you can see I broke the yolk. And that's why we have the bowl. What I really want to do is pour that bowl into the other bowl, but I forgot to do that here. It turned out fine, just remember to do that. I also want to note that the internet, somewhere on the internet, told me not to use my hands because of the oils on my hands could affect it, and I want to set myself up for success here. So we're going to put both the whites and the yolks aside. I'm going to use the yolks later. So now I need to blitz my sugar. I have granulated sugar. I really want it to be super fine because when I make my meringue, I want it to be nice and smooth. So that's what we're doing here. And I'm also taking vinegar and I'm wiping down my whisk and I'm wiping down my bowl because, again, just trying to set myself up for success as best as I can because meringues are already hard. Why make it harder on myself if I don't have to? So we're adding our egg whites, so full of hope at this stage. I believe that I can make this pavlova, and you can see it's mixing. Now the KitchenAid does shake quite a bit when it mixes, but luckily for me it's not as bad as the Honda power unit, so maybe that's an opportunity for KitchenAid and Honda to team up to help Aston Martin. Now this stage is where I want to add my sugar, and so I'm adding it bit by bit. I'm a little impatient, so I think I added it slowly enough or as slow as I could tolerate. So all my sugar is added here. You can kind of see it shaking. And you can see I'm not quite at stiff peaks yet. It still has some more whisking to do. I turned on the light to better see what I was doing. And I'm scraping down the sides just to make sure we're getting every last bit of egg white and meringue. And I think we're right there at stiff peaks here. So I'm testing it. I think it looks okay. Adding my cream of tartar and I'm adding in my vanilla. And what my next step is to incorporate these two together. I should be folding it in. But here you'll see I'm over whipping my eggs. I think it's a very subtle difference. I couldn't tell you how. I can only tell you based on what you'll see at the end. So now I'm trying to get everything off of the whisk. And I'm adding my cornstarch. So the cornstarch is for the pavlova to give it that structure and to help the egg whites and make it nice and pillowy so I can build up that nest to put on the curd that I'm making. So this is what it looks like prior to piping it. And I get my cup, I get my piping bag, and I realize it's not the right size. I have prepared the wrong tires. So I change it out, and I think this is approximately half of the mix because I'm going to do this twice. Have a little bit of regret, and I cut a nice big hole so that I can make a nice pavlova in the shape of the Australian GP circuit. So here we go, starting off our piping. It's a little bit sloppy, but the point is to make a nice pillow nest. So here I'm trying to get every last bit of meringue out of the piping bag before I go to round 2. So I did have 2 tracks prepared, and this is for the second track. And you can see this did not go as good as the first one, filling up the piping bag, but I did my best. And I did cut a smaller hole, trying to learn from my mistake the first time. So here we're doing a full lap around the track, going all the way around. Coming here, I like to call these the 2 elbows. I don't know their names, the final chicane. And I build up a nice wall to fill it in, which I then forget what I'm trying to do, and instead I pipe a bunch of meringues. The way that you saw it going into the oven is exactly how it went into the oven. And now we're going to make lemon curd. This is what we are saving the egg yolks for. So to get maximum juice out of the lemons, I just roll them out a little bit to kind of squeeze it out. And I want all that fresh zest. I don't want finger zest though, so here's a tablespoon of fresh lemon zest. Now I'm just going to squeeze this fresh lemon juice out to collect about a half a cup of fresh lemon juice. My lemons were not as juicy as I anticipated. My lemons are a little bit older, so maybe that was why. So I did need a third lemon. And you can see just rinse, repeat. I zest, I cut, I squeeze. And this gets me to approximately a half cup of juice, which is great. And now we don't need to blitz this sugar, so I just pour it right in, measure it out, mix the zest with the sugar to really infuse that lemon, and now we're on to making the curd. I crack my eggs on the stove and I mix in my yolks, but I don't turn the burner on right away. I turn it on afterwards because I'm not trying to make scrambled eggs lemon-y tasting. I'm trying to make lemon curd. So here we're just trying to mix it all, keep whisking so we're not making scrambled eggs, and I'm adding my lemon juice in slowly. You can see it does change in color a little bit, and as you whisk, the consistency will change, and so I'm waiting for that change in consistency. It's a nice bright yellow, and you can even see it's quite thick. When you run your finger across the spatula, I see exactly what I want to see. It stays empty like that. 3, 4. I add 3.5 tablespoons of butter, which I believe is exactly what my recipe called for that I used. And then we're not worried about the zest because I have to sieve it out. You can see there's a little bit of scrambled eggs in there, but that's fine because we sieved it out. So now I'm making whipped cream. I take heavy cream and I whip it to make my whipped cream. Words of wisdom. At this stage, it's not quite there. You just got to keep going until it looks like this. This is what I believe whipped cream looks like. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of the whipped cream and I'm sacrificing it into my curd. My curd is cooled. It had the plastic wrap over it to prevent the skin from forming, but it is heavier than my nice whipped cream. So I'm sacrificing a little bit of that cream into my curd so that I'm not deflating all of that goodness that I just did with the mixer. And you can see that folding it in nice and gently. It's a nice vibrant yellow still. And here is my pavlova. I did bake the paper. I did not make a pavlova. I just made a meringue with a couple extra steps. Put a nice dollop of lemon curd on there. Take a nice big bite. And I think it tastes wonderful. It's nice and pillowy inside. So thank you for watching Formula Cake. And now we're on to my cold lap. I played this in F123, so I'm going to compare it to the 2023 pole time. I'm also recording this after watching FP3, and up until Antonelli's big crash at the end of the session, I hope he's okay and makes it back for qualifying, I had him pinned as pole time and winner of the race this year. So I guess I'm jumping on the Russell bandwagon right now, with Ferrari shockingly as a close second. I'm also wondering how far into the race our Aston Martin friends will last. Just to note, this is my 7th time around this track trying to learn it, and I think I did a couple more laps than Stroll did, so I think I'm on par with an F1 driver, really, is what I'm going for. I think the hometown boy, Piastri, I know last year he started to sandbag a little bit, I felt like, so I'm wondering if he's got a little bit more left in the tank. I think he has a second to make up, but maybe the hometown push will do it for him. Who knows? So I think it'll be an exciting year, still learning the regulations, still not really understanding them. I haven't looked into them too much, but yeah. Thanks for watching. And my time is about the same as Cadillac. Go me!